What's up, guys? Happy Monday for me. I don't know about you guys whenever you'll see this video. Today was a Monday for me. And today, no, I'm not taking you to Montana again as usual. No, we're not hauling medical supplies. None of that stuff. That usual load, I've given it to another driver. There was a driver in the area. So I'm gonna let somebody else do that one, take care of that one. I'm doing a little bit of an unusual pickup. Some of our drivers have done these loads before, and we've done them throughout the whole country, not just around here or anything like that. It could be anywhere. Basically, I'm picking up a little box, and this box gets picked up from an individual and cannot deliver anywhere else to another point of contact that we're given, and that's really it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It has to be picked up from a certain person and delivered to a certain person, because it's some kind of what you would call it, a secure load or whatever. Basically, a lot of our drivers that have done these already, they say it makes me nervous. It makes me feel like I'm hauling something illegal. What are we hauling here? And so on and so forth. Ask all kinds of weird questions. Well, you know, I don't really have an answer for those weird questions, except for it is nothing illegal. It's perfectly legal. Last time a driver did this load, he actually talked to the guy, and the guy that gave him the package, it's just a package that we pick up. The guy that gave him the package explained that he works at a bank. Basically, they do like all kinds of secure things at the bank and do like ATM things to the ATM machines. Either they install them or they repair them or whatever. So a lot of times we're hauling either like chips, computer style chips, or like bank entry cards and stuff, you know, like just a card that's a magnetic whatever to open and close the doors and stuff. So it's that kind of freight. He's in a Hyundai Sonata, he said, a white one, and he's coming from the north side. I was supposed to pick it up in the valley, but I called him up because broker was a bit anxious for me to call the point of contact. So I called the point of contact, and he said he's not in the valley where I was originally supposed to pick it up from. He's actually on the north side and coming closer to me, so it's even better. I was filling up. I just filled up for $4.75, believe it or not. In Spokane, Washington, right downtown, there's a gas station called Amerimart. If you guys are coming through Spokane, Washington, right downtown, 2nd and Brown, I believe. 2nd and Brown. Right downtown is the cheapest gas station you'll find around town, before town and after town. I think it's probably pretty close to the cost of state line of Idaho and Washington. So write that down in case you're over here in this neck of the woods. So I think maybe only once a month, once every month to once every 3 months, we'll actually get some kind of load like this that pays this much money, and that actually is, you know, this type of freight. So I got my paperwork right there. The gentleman signed. Actually pulled up, and he was sitting there with his, from the light over there, he was actually sitting and waiting for me with his door open. With the box in hand. So, and the camera was on the charger, so I didn't even have time to put on anything, turn on anything, or any of that kind of stuff. He just came up to me, handed it for me, signed it for me, and that's it. So anyways, long story short, this is the box that pays, once I deliver it, of course, pays $700 for 300 miles. It's not even 300 loaded miles, but that's how much it pays. I know it's a crazy price. It's not an everyday price. It's not a regular price or anything like that. It's just, there's nobody here nobody here right now that can do it and run it direct. And this has to deliver all deliver into somebody's hands. It cannot just be left anywhere or any of that kind of stuff. So, you know, they don't just trust this stuff with anybody. We've done these before. They know who we are. They know who they're giving the load to, so on and so forth. So last time it was actually the same exact broker who gave us this load. So just something that you guys can, you know, something for you guys to ponder upon. Yes, you can make great money. Sometimes you're hauling heavy stuff. Sometimes you're hauling big stuff. And sometimes, very, very sometimes, you're hauling this kind of stuff. So let's roll. Let's roll to delivery. I still got to stop by home real quick, grab some coffee, and head on out. This morning when I checked the weather up in the mountains, it said chains required both directions. Can you believe this? It's the 2nd day of March officially in the calendar today. Yes, 2nd day of March. And I checked the weather, chains required both directions. Then before I gave that Montana load to a driver, it had chains required eastbound. No, it was the other way around. Yeah, chains required eastbound. Westbound, you didn't need chains because you were coming more down the hill. Well, when I got this load myself, I checked it and it said no chains required, both directions. But in the morning, it had heavy snow overnight. And believe it or not, end of March, and we still have to put chains on and carry chains in Washington State. It's the law. Otherwise, you got to be in an all-wheel drive vehicle or take the risk of a $500 ticket. $500 was like 3 years ago. So I'm not sure how much it is now. Might be more, might be less. Probably more. Nothing's less these days. They like to charge more for everything. More. Hey, one thing I wanted to talk to you drivers about is if you're not finding your location, say sometimes you get to a place and you're like, give your dispatch a call and say, hey, is this supposed to be a residential delivery? Because I'm in the, I'm in a residential area or I can't find this place. Well, if your GPS brought you somewhere where you're not, where the place is nowhere to be found, have you checked Google first before calling dispatch and wasted time? It's a very big, it's driver's responsibility to find the place unless you get there and you're 100% sure that there's nothing there when you get there. But lately we've been having drivers call us and say, hey, I'm here, but this place is not here. And then, dispatch goes on Google, types in the address, voila, it pops up, it's there. Then we have to send the link to the driver, wasting precious time of getting you a load or another guy a load, or, if it's you waiting for a load and it's another driver doing this, then we're just wasting precious time looking up something that you could have looked up by yourself. So just a little tip, guys. If you can't find the place, or if you've arrived and it's not there on your regular, vehicle GPS, please, before you make the call to dispatch, just do your due diligence and just look it up on Google as well. And if Google gives you something different, then just please use Google. Get there, and if you still haven't found it, or if it still hasn't brought you there, then call your dispatch and say, hey man, my regular navigation didn't work and my Google didn't work, so please help me, please double check that address. Then we start getting to work for you. Otherwise, it's just a big waste of time for us to do something that you could have done yourself and checking it on Google and verifying and that kind of thing. Hopefully that helps you guys out, and that'll help dispatch out as well. 2 birds with 1 stone that day. stopped to fill up and somebody left a banana. I haven't seen this kind before. Thinking this is coming with me. Called my contact for delivery, and he said, well, my friend, it's going to be great to meet you, but do not hurry. Don't hurry to get over there. Don't hurry to, he's like, somebody told me a lot later ETA for you, so I wasn't sure what I'm going to be doing with you, and so on and so forth. And he's like, that's great that you're coming early, but you're going to have to wait for me. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, are you familiar with the area? And I'm like, well, I come here a few times a week, sometimes once a week. You know, I'm like, been here for years. He's like, yeah, I'm like around Port Orchard. And he said Port Townsend or something. I don't know, something. I heard Port Orchard for sure, 100%. So I know where that's at. And that's like 55 miles-ish from where I'm supposed to deliver to. And it's traffic time. It is like 5:07 right now. When I called him, I called him at like 4:40, yeah, somewhere around 4:40-ish or whatever. Gave him an ETA of like 5:30. That way he could wait for me instead of me waiting for him, because I knew I would be in traffic. But it's looking like it's not bad coming that way. No traffic. That's amazing. Look at this. I mean, I'm not driving 65, but I am not. I think during the day this is usually a lot worse. I'm amazed that we're actually moving along. This is 405. This is the worst highway in Seattle area, by the way. So he said, grab some lunch, grab some dinner, fill up, whatever you got to do. And don't be in a hurry to get there, and I'll be there as soon as I can get there. And I said, you know, don't worry. I knew I had to call you ahead of time, but I guess, you know, it is what it is. So I just told him I'm going to wait for you and we'll be okay. He said, thank you very much. Can't wait to meet you. Whatever that means. I don't know. Anyways, that banana, that brown banana, the new style that I ate, kind of got a little bit of a stomachache going on after that. I don't know. Might have to make a restroom stop somewhere. Or if not, I've got plenty of grocery bags. Might have to use one or two of those. You guys see those folks rowing? Oh, here's another boat. Look at that. There's another boat right there. Looking between the trees. Look, look, look. You see those crazy folks in the rain rowing like that? That's what I call team spirit. All the amenities here at the storage place. Look at this. You get your bathroom, trash can over there. You get your bathroom right here. You got the sink, paper towels, sanitizer or soap, whatever that is. Plus, you get the whole secured facility right here. Look at this. I wanted to make a note for you guys on these little containers here. This is kind of cool what they thought about. It's an office, that this lady is in. I don't know if that's security or whoever that is, but anyways, you see those two holes? The forklift would pick this thing up and get it loaded up or unloaded anywhere you want. So if you guys are living at your mom's house and you guys want a separate building for yourself, you know, separate room, you can get this unit and they'll set it down for you anywhere in the front yard, backyard, side, wherever. They'll put it in the alley for you if you want. And all you do is just plug in to wherever your power is and you're good to go. You can have yourself a, whatever that is, 200, maybe 250 square feet of you know, livable space if you want. And the thing is, not even the mice can get you guys. It's all metal. Don't have to worry about mice, don't have to worry about, what do you call those things that eat wood? Forgot about it. Forgot the name. Anyways, I'm waiting for the contact. Whenever he gets here, I'm not sure. I'm gonna message him and tell him I'm here, and we'll see what his ETA is. For now, I think I'm just gonna do a video on the sleeper for you guys, so you guys know what the sleeper's like, and then go home after that, take a nap. I don't know if it's gonna be a while still or not. I'll text him. My contact for the box?
Yes, sir. Sorry it took so long, Andrew.
It's okay.
Back in a second.
Okay. Do you need a copy?
Nope.
You hear a deer too?
A deer hit me, but yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was going around a corner on a tight road, and he crossed the yellow. I was like, okay, so I got to turn inward because I was going out around it because he was walking real slow. And so I turn inward. At that time, he does a 180 to go back. Ding!
It's happened. I've hit two, not in this van, but in another one. When I was finishing up the Russian version of the sleeper, opened the back door and walked out from the side, my contact came rolling up and didn't even have time to really get prepared, turn things on or whatever. But either way, there's nothing special. You just hand the box directly to the contact and he signs your paperwork and that's it. He asked me where my accent's from. I told him where I'm from. You know, he asked if I like what I do. Then he asked a personal question, you know, how much money I make. And, you know, I didn't really give him a... I mean, I told him how much this job pays, and I told him how much, you know, I told him how much I do if I'm out and about for a couple days a week when I'm not home. And I still told him, hey, you know, you still make more. And he asked me, well, how much do you make? And I told him, and he's like, well, I make less than that still. And then he's like, well, by the time, you know, all the expenses and blah, 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 he's like, we probably maybe make the same amount a week as he does. But I'm like, hey, you still had to do, you know, you had to get an education to get this job. With this, you know, there is no education, you know. And he's like, it's hard to get time off because you're so busy. So they do repairs and things, installs on ATM machines is what these guys do. He's a tech, and so basically for that, you know, he's really busy. He says right now, as he was standing with me, he should have been on like 3 jobs simultaneously, he says, but obviously he was not. So he says he's backed up a lot, and it's hard to get vacation time at his job. So I told him, well, if you're driving and expediting, you can take a day off today, tomorrow, whenever you want. You can take a week off or a month off, whatever you want. Whenever you're out of money, then go back to work. That's how this works. We'll see if he joins up. He might be on the road. I doubt it. I didn't tell him that, you know, we're hiring, and I didn't tell him any of that kind of stuff. He was asking because he thought of doing it with his wife. He'd love to travel, he says. He says he loves driving. Says he loves all night driving, so on and so forth. But everybody says that at first, and then once you do it for a week or two, and you miss your wife, and you miss your warm pillow at home, and then you miss your kids, and your homemade meals, and your couch, and your big screen TV, you know, all that. If you're missing that kind of stuff, this job might not be for you. This is a fancy van. Look at this. What is that? That's a little van, but man, that's fancy. Some kids wearing like soccer shirts and stuff like that. Maybe it's like a school or some kind of bus that takes them from game to game, whatever. Once again, that's what the weather's like. Typical Seattle stuff. Even though they've had a drought for the last couple of years, and especially last summer, they had a really big drought out here. They had like 90-degree weather. People, believe it or not, people don't swim usually in the ocean here. But last summer, people were swimming, and I was one of those people as well. I swam in their ocean too. I might get pulled over right now. I'm yapping with you guys, and here you go. Look at this. I don't know if he's gonna come after me or not, but I was doing maybe 3 miles over the usual over 5, so was doing like 67, 68, and a 60. We're usually allowed to do 5 over. Nobody touches you on the freeway. We'll see. Maybe we'll get you guys a new recording of some red and blue lights. Just hang tight. I often get silly question people asking me what kind of van I recommend. Well, it's kind of silly that you guys ask, because obviously what I drive is what I'm going to recommend. I'm not going to go buy a van without doing the proper research or without knowing what the best van is and drive it and, you know, not be happy with it. That's not going to happen. So there's a reason why I drive a Sprinter van, and I do recommend a Sprinter. I drive a Sprinter, and I recommend everybody who wants to do expediting to drive a Sprinter. Why? Number one, it's the biggest and the tallest van made. There's no bigger van, there's no taller van than a Sprinter van. It's the longest and the tallest that they make. That's number one. Number two, it's the most economical van out there. They make a 4-cylinder, which you get 25, 27 miles per gallon in a diesel. They make a V6, which is what I have, that gets you an average of 20 miles per gallon. It's a diesel as well. Your ProMaster and your Ford Transit, you're not going to get that kind of mileage. So that's why I recommend it. Number two is because it's diesel. That's why I recommend it as well. You have all this torque and you have all this power, and you never have to worry about it shifting up hills, shifting through the passes somewhere, your transmission going crazy, you know, shifting a million times back and forth. Diesel vans just simply do not do that. So that's why I got a diesel van. It's the biggest and the tallest, it's the most economical, and it also does not shift like a gas engine would. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm just giving it gas. I'm doing 72. It's not shifting anywhere. I'm happy. Van's happy. Everybody's happy. Why don't you guys want to be happy? Get a Sprinter. Get a diesel Sprinter. Plus 99% of them are all diesel anyways. I don't know why some guys ask about glow plug, or not glow plugs, but this has glow plugs. Ask me about, you know, maintenance and spark plugs when I change that out and this and that. It's basic. On a Sprinter, you change the oil. By factory, it says 20,000, but nobody does that. Every driver knows to change the oil 10-12,000 miles. Every 10 to 12. No more than that. Try not to go over. Fuel filter, I don't know, every 50-75,000 miles. We pour good fuel in here, so nothing to worry about. And as far as the rest of it goes, air filter and cabin filter, things like that, check it. It's right there. You guys can check it. If it's dirty, change it out. Everybody drives in a different environment, so there's no real set schedule for that. I do all my own maintenance and oil changes and brake changes and all that, so why would I pay the dealer when it's simple things that I can do myself? Hope that helps you guys out to answer some of the questions I always get.